Yes. Can we talk first of all about little baby Kafir? Because that picture we've just seen of this just beautiful little baby, I think particularly for any parent, the thought of what happened to this little boy, or who knows what is still happening, is just too harrowing and awful to think of. He, his brother and his mother taken hostage on October the 7th. I think a lot of people were surprised that in these 6 days of hostages being released, that a 10-month-old baby and a 4-year-old child were not among the very first to be released. And then yesterday we were told by Hamas that they were dead and that they were killed in Israeli airstrike, which is strange because there hasn't been an airstrike for 6 days and they haven't mentioned it before. What do you believe that the Israeli government, the forces, know about what happened to this family?
You know, we have seen in the past that Hamas is giving false information, trying to use false information to torture families. And
we've actually had them say that families are dead.
Yes.
And then only to have some of those families since being released.
Or that they can't find someone and then suddenly she reappears. The Bibas family is, you know, we have all followed those pictures that you are seeing at the moment, the worry in Shiri's head, and you know, we are really hoping that what Hamas claims is untrue. Anyhow, if they were the one taking them in captivity, they are the one to need to be blamed for whatever happens.
Even if it were an Israeli airstrike a week ago, they're the ones who put them in harm. They wouldn't have been at risk.
And you know, there are more and more hostages who are coming back from hell and who are starting to talk. Some of them can't talk. And for example, you know, Emily, she came back. She was 9 years old. She is 9 years old, sorry.
She had her birthday while she was in captivity.
Yeah, she thought she was held in captivity for a year. And she can't speak normally like you and me. She whispers because she has been taught that she can't speak loudly. And we hear horrible stories of people who've been beaten. There's a young boy, Eitan, he's 12 years old. He was forced to watch videos of what Hamas terrorists have been doing to Israelis. And
the rape, murder, torture of people. Again, stuff still being denied by some apologists.
Still being denied. And I'm glad you're raising this subject because, you know, a few days ago it was the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And during the Nova Festival, there were so many women who were raped. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a bit gruesome here, but
please,
you know,
please speak specific. People need to know.
Their bodies were mutilated. There is a video of a woman who was pregnant, and the Hamas people cut her body while she was still pregnant. They took the unborn baby, they killed the unborn baby, and then they killed that woman. There are people who are saying that they witnessed Hamas terrorists raping girl after girl. There are women, forensics people who received, you know, bags of bodies of girls, and they are saying horrific things. They're saying that they found objects in intimate body parts of women that, you know, horrible things.
I mean,
I'm wondering where are the women international organizations?
But even some Western journalists here, you know who you are, here in the UK, saying, well, you know, the video that the Israeli government has provided for independent journalists to see, 45 minutes of footage, some of it from Hamas terrorists' own body cam stuff, some of it put out by Hamas. They put out their own stuff, for goodness sake. They were proud of it.
Yeah.
And another footage, CCTV footage and the like. And then, you know, foreign journalists, people say,
no, it's not enough.
Well, we didn't see the actual rape.
It needs to be verified.
We didn't see the, but we know we've had non-governmental organisations who've verified it. We've got pathologists who verified a lot of it. We've got witnesses, eyewitness accounts, children giving accounts of what they were forced to watch the torture of their family members. Not good enough. But what's fascinating, a lot of these people, a few years ago, an actress claims a director put his hand on her knee. Believe every woman. Someone whose body is severely mutilated, who has clearly been gang raped and tortured. Well, I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
I don't even begin to understand that mindset. And as you say, women's groups, a lot of left-wing feminist women groups are remarkably quiet about this.
And the question is it because it's about Jewish victims? Do Jewish victims not count? If they are raped, if they are mutilated, you know, it's a question that I'm asking. And I
think it's a legitimate question to ask, indeed. And again, you know, people who will believe everything that Hamas will say about, say, for instance, a hospital has been hit by an Israeli airstrike, 500 dead. Wasn't hit by an Israeli airstrike. The hospital wasn't obliterated. It was hit the car park. It was a Hamas failed rocket. The evidence seems very, very clear on that. And terrible that dozens of people died, but not 500 people. Oh, everyone's quite quiet about that now. And the BBC reporter at the time he reported it still says he said the right thing, and yet they won't believe something that a democratically elected government says. Now, I'm of the view as a journalist, we can't verify anything until we can verify it ourselves with other sources. But to give more scepticism to what Israel says than what a terrorist organisation says, I think, frankly, is just morally sick. That's what it is.
And it feels like people have forgotten that, I mean, almost 2 months ago, 3,000 terrorists came into our villages and they butchered, they murdered people, and they took 240 people hostages. Most of them are still in captivity at the moment. And the Red Cross, apart from becoming drivers for the hostages that have been released, are not doing their job. I mean, where are they?
I've also seen some extraordinary footage that when, you know, women and children, when the hostages are being released, they have to walk through sort of a cavalcade of a baying mob, largely young men holding up their phones. Now, I did point out, yes, I thought it was rather strange. In a Gaza Strip where apparently there's no power supplies that people are charging. Apparently they are using solar and the like, and that's how they're managing. But everyone's got a mobile phone and everyone's got it all powered up. They've got their lights on. They're videoing these people. But they are also shouting, you know, die, you know, and hateful, horrible Allahu Akbar at them. And these are young children, elderly women, being led out of captivity, having been kept in tunnels for 50 days, being led to an International Red Cross ambulance. And they're being shouted at by a baying mob.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you see, but the Hamas terrorists, after they have forced them to take them in captivity, and they gave them barely any food and no.
Some were on starvation rations.
Yes, some of them have lost about 15% of their, body weight, and they are playing it as if they were nice people, handing them bottled water and waving at the camera. It's all a play. It's all a play. And on the other side, we have to remember that for each hostage that is released, we have to release 3 prisoners who have been trying to kill Israelis.